Pix 11 continues to be your local election headquarters. You know, the Democratic primary for New York City mayor is about a month away, and we are continuing our conversation with the candidates. Today, I'm speaking with an early leader in the race, former presidential candidate Andrew Yang. And Mr. Yang is joining me now live. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here, Dan and Betty.
So, Mr. Yang, let's begin first with our new Pix 11 News Nation Emerson College poll, which we released on Monday. Has Eric Adams narrowly leading you by 2%, overall winning ranked choice voting in our simulation. So let me begin with your thoughts and reaction to the poll, because you see that number, 23% undecided.
The only poll we're concerned about really is the vote, which starts, like you just said, in just a few weeks. June 12th, primary day is June 22nd. Right now, we're talking directly to voters every day, and the energy around our campaign just continues to grow. We might set the all-time record for donors to a New York City mayoral campaign.
You know, you just brought up donors. So let me bring up what's actually happening. You called out Eric Adams after the New York Times did an article questioning his fundraising. He then accused you of using your nonprofit to raise money for your campaign. What is going on here? Can you set the record straight?
Front page news on the New York Times said that Eric Adams inappropriately categorized special interest money as matchable donor money. And so I called that out and said, look, we have a campaign finance system that is tremendous. It matches small dollar donations. It was not meant to amplify and augment special interest money that didn't need it. So I'm excited for the CFB to take a close look, because it's very clear.
Did you use your nonprofit to raise money for your campaign?
My nonprofit Humanity Forward distributed $9 million in relief money all over the country. And so I don't see how someone could look at that and say it was somehow inappropriate. It was to help people during the pandemic, and a lot of people actually saw that as a model for what the federal government adopted a number of weeks later.
All right, I want to talk about what New Yorkers are worried about, and that's the issues, because right now we're seeing a dramatic rise in shootings. Just last night, an 8-year-old was among 8 people shot in 6 different incidents. You've talked about reorganizing the police, but what does that mean in terms of getting guns off the street? How would you tackle that problem in particular?
Nothing works if families aren't safe on our streets, on our subways, in our neighborhoods. So I've proposed a new anti-violence and community safety unit of the police to go into neighborhoods that are struck most by this gun violence, to get the guns out and the rates down. We have to temporarily assign officers to those environments, and we have to send a very clear message that these guns are not being originated in New York City. We have to try and break the iron pipeline where these guns are flowing up from Florida to our streets, to our boroughs. We can attack that pipeline as well.
Haven't they been trying to do that and it's just not working?
Well, I talked to experts in the NYPD Intelligence Bureau, and there is more to be done. Right now, we haven't been working with authorities in other jurisdictions, like in Florida, or even the federal authorities who can help, because this is an issue that affects New Yorkers, but it's starting someplace else.
So let me begin also with what's happening on the subways. Another slashing on the subway, this time on the platform of the Fulton Street station. 2 slashings on back-to-back nights inside Union Square. What's your answer here? Are the current numbers of police in the subways enough? And if not, what's the number you'd like to see, and where are you getting them from?
We need to make sure that people feel safe on our subways, and the rates of violent incidents are on the rise. One thing I've proposed, Dan, is that the city should have control of our subways, because right now, if you look at the situation, you have NYPD transit cops, and then you have MTA cops that answer to the state. You have the mayor and the governor talking about, I'm going to send officers, you should send more officers. That's not a way to solve this problem. We need it all under the city's roof. In terms of the number of officers, I think that we should be committing more officers to the platforms until we feel like the rates are going down, not up. And so the 250 we've added are a good first step. The mayor's requested an additional 250 from the state. I think that if the state does not come through, we should supply that additional 250 and see if we can get the rates heading in a better direction.
And, you know, in just a bit, you're actually making an announcement this morning on diversifying the NYPD, using data to make neighborhoods safer. How is that different than what's actually being done? Talk to me a little bit about the plan. I know you're making the announcement later today, but give us a sneak peek here.
We want the NYPD to better reflect the diversity of our neighborhoods, of our communities. I want new cops to live in the city, because then they'd understand where they're serving and protecting better, and they'd also be off duty there, which would add to the number of people elevating public safety. And one of the things we're going to announce today that I'm very excited about is right now, when a police officer encounters someone who does something disruptive but isn't quite at a level where you want to arrest the person, that let's say that they seem kind of unwell or they're harassing someone, what we need to do is actually document that with a warning, let the person know, like, look, if you do something like this again, we're going to take much firmer action, because a lot of these folks are struggling in terms of mental illness and capacity. And so we can get them to better environments. That's going to be a win for everyone.
You know, yesterday, Mr. Yang, was a big day in terms of mask mandates being lifted, right? I know safety is a big concern to get the city up and running, but there are also so many shuttered businesses. What is the first thing you would do to help get businesses back open and get people back to work?
The first thing I do is declare a moratorium on any fines for small business owners. We have to be your partner in this. We can't be dinging you with fines for infractions. If there's a violation, we'll just say, look, fix it, but we're not going to fine you. And then I want to invest millions of dollars in helping some of these business owners clear their back rent, use the relief money in a targeted way, because small businesses employ most of the people in our communities, and we need to do more, and we need to be a genuine partner and champion to these businesses.
We're almost out of time. Part of the reopening is about getting vaccinated. Do you support vaccine passports, and should schools require students to be vaccinated? Those two questions briefly.
We need to get our schools open. I'm a public school parent. I feel this deeply. I think that we should be encouraging vaccines for everyone, and kids get vaccinated all the time to go to school. Like this should be no different after the vaccine gets approved.
Vaccine passport, yes or no?
I think we should all be getting vaccinated. And I went to a Yankees game, just being able to say, look, I'm vaccinated, passport, very, very helpful.
All right, Mr. Yang, thank you. You went to a Yankee game. You know, Corey Kluber had a big day yesterday.
Yeah, I am a Mets fan. I just went to opening day. So, just let you know, but hey, I just want to support the reopening of the city.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Giving everybody
Corey
equal
Kluber.
time. Giving everybody
everyone.
every equal time, so being fair with the time limit. Thank you for being here. Pix 11 continues to serve as your local election headquarters, everybody. We're giving you a front row seat, by the way, to the home stretch leading to the primaries. This is big news that we're breaking this morning. The 8 candidates running for the Democratic nomination for New York City Mayor, including Mr. Yang, will join us for a forum on May 27th at 8 p.m. This is brand new information this morning. And then on June 3rd, Pix 11 will host a debate for the Republican candidates. I'll be hosting and moderating both events in prime time. Hopefully you get to learn a lot more about these candidates. More on those events and other election information on our website, pix11.com/New York elections.